Well, what they're doing is actually contracting with a private company to look at what's going on and get a better picture of the cyberspace landscape. So they have paid, the Department of Homeland Security has paid a company about $11 million, and they look at Facebook, they look at Twitter, they look at YouTube. What they're doing, they say, is screening for certain keywords: terrorism, tornado. They're looking for information about a natural disaster or a specific event, or it could be as simple as long lines at the airport. You had a somewhat skeptical Congress today. Listen to the man who runs the nerve center at the Department of Homeland Security describe how they're using social media.
What we do, again, is that there are long lines at the airport, at the screening centers, those types of things. Those would come up to us, and we would pass that on to the appropriate DHS component for action. Again, through cooperation, is this really happening? What is happening? And what do we need to do to fix that? But identifying individuals, again, or an individual that is making that would be irrelevant to us. There is something happening. Go check it out.
So DHS says this is the what that they're looking at, not the who. But Suzanne, it's important to note we've seen the contract. It was provided by some privacy advocates, and one of the things that's in there is they can collect information about people who report positively or negatively on the Department of Homeland Security. They're supposed to scrub that from any private information from that, but in fact a name got through. We saw somebody's name on one of these exchanges in these documents. Suzanne.
So, Lucy, what happens to information that you're not sharing publicly, like, Facebook posts that you only share with your friends? Do they have access to that? Are they monitoring that kind of stuff?
They're not supposed to. This is supposed to be publicly available information, what's called open source. So anything you tweet, if you don't have a protected Twitter account, that goes out there. Some people assume that because cyberspace is large, the government is not watching. That's probably not the right way to think of it. And when they look at privacy here, they look at those individual privacy statements of those companies. So whatever Facebook says you might be putting out there, you're putting out there.
When Gabrielle Giffords was shot, when oil washed up on Louisiana beaches, the government wasn't just getting information from its own sources, but from you on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Flickr, anything that can be seen publicly. The online privacy group Epic sued to get the Department of Homeland Security's contract with the company General Dynamics that does the monitoring. They get $11 million to sift through social media. Words they're looking for: terrorist attack, tornado, Homeland Security.
Some of them were a little more unusual. Strain, animal to human, virus, those sorts of things are very broad and would likely pull in a lot of information that's not necessarily related to Homeland Security.
It can be as simple as using the free program TweetDeck, which lets you sort by topic. It's hardly a perfect science. This memo shows contractors were sending out reports to DHS when they came across the word terrorism. We don't need to any longer, a supervisor wrote, unless this is connected to the United States. But what if your tweet was a complaint about the TSA or FEMA? Under the contract terms, that could be monitored too, including both positive and negative reports. Congress is worried about the leap from information gathering to stifling dissent.
Help us understand what you are doing to assure that individual communication is not leading to individuals being identified by the government, and what you are doing to assure that we are not creating a chilling effect.
DHS says it's not the who they're focused on, but the what. And they say that's all General Dynamics should be looking for.
So who does tell the analysts who are collecting information what to do?
Again, they have guidelines on what they're looking for, and again, the Privacy Office certainly puts it in there.
Now, the department says it doesn't collect identifying information for private individuals, and if they get some by mistake, it's supposed to be scrubbed out. But we actually found one name on some of these documents that Epic sued for, a person who Customs was trying to look at their immigration status. So really, the idea here is if there's something you don't want the government seeing, don't tweet it, don't put it out there.
Which is what we say is if there's something you don't want anyone to see, don't put it out there. Listen, I got a lot of responses going, tornado. And it's because Homeland Security, sure, terrorism you kind of get, but it has a broader mandate.
Broader mandate, disaster responses, FEMA, they say one of the things they do is interact with first responders. So if you see a lot of reports about a tornado, that helps them then look at where the geographical area is that's coming from, and maybe if someone's stranded somewhere, actually send people to help them.
Right. And you probably get a pretty good idea of how big the problem is, because
Exactly.
everybody tweets and you can tweet from anywhere.
From anywhere.
Not everybody. My mother doesn't. Thanks so much.